Since it's Thanksgiving, I wasn't going to work on any videos today, but since it's just my girlfriend and I, and a pizza, some dessert, and some Coca-Cola, I don't know, I don't feel like it's something I need to take a day off for. Anyway, let me know how your Thanksgiving went down in the comments section, but today we're going to talk about maps, and how Modern Warfare is adding old maps into Modern Warfare and calling it new content. I have some interesting opinions about this, at least they're interesting to me, probably because they're my own. But yeah, let's get right into this. A lot of people are irritated that the new content coming out for the 6v6 maps in the new season aren't new because we've all played on Crash, Shipment, and Vacant before. You know, those are old Call of Duty 4 maps. I do not share in this frustration, and I'm gonna let you guys know why. So, back during Black Ops 4, when Black Ops 4 was introducing old maps to launch the game with, which was Slums, Summit, Jungle, and Firing Range that launched with the game, due to the lack of content at launch with Black Ops 4, it looked like a way to pad content with old maps, and I felt like I was paying for a game that was willing to offer me old maps. Now, Modern Warfare did not ship with old maps, but it also didn't ship with a lot of maps. We got 10 maps at launch with Modern Warfare. We got 6 6v6 maps and 4 10v10. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to be talking about Gunfight or Ground War because those are their own separate things. If I was going to talk about at least Ground War, that's 2 extra maps, which brings the total to 12, and then they added 2 more maps that were new, which was the Farmland and Shoot House, bringing the total maps up to 14, at least across 6v6, 10v10, and Ground War. But excluding Ground War, we have 11 10v10 and 6v6 maps. Now ideally, Call of Duty Modern Warfare would not have spread itself so thin and made it so that some maps have to be gunfight maps, some have to be Ground War, some have to be 10v10, some have to be 6v6. I kinda wish we just would have gotten a Call of Duty game with 15 6v6 maps, because that's the big reason I buy Call of Duty every year, but okay. I haven't really gotten tired of the maps in this game. I don't agree with the design of all of them, don't jump down my throat, but I haven't been like, oh, this map again, you know, I don't really have that feeling yet. Maybe in a couple months I will, but again, the game's only been out for just a little over a month at this point, so it's a little too early to say the maps aren't boring, but we'll get into that later. I will say though, because the maps are so different in each of their designs, I do get different experiences on each map, and that might be why, because in Black Ops 4, I know I was bored with all of the maps because I had already seen 4 of them, and the other ones were very basic linear maps without too many gimmicks or things that made me interested. So anyway, moving on. Modern Warfare did not tote any content padding, nostalgia bait, remade maps to launch with the game. They did not do that. And it would have been very easy for them to be like, hey, here's Crash and Terminal and Wasteland and all these other maps. You know, Wasteland would make a great 10v10 map in my opinion. But anyway, they didn't do that. In fact, their first maps that they added were not old Call of Duty maps, and I appreciate that. Now, I'm sure because the new maps that came to the game first were only 2 weeks after launch, they were meant to launch with the game and maybe just didn't make it, and then they needed to be touched up for another 2 weeks. And I'm okay with that too, because here's the thing, guys. The way I look at it is that for me, guys, the game launched on the night of the 24th, October 24th. And then 2 weeks after that, I got a new Ground War map and a new 6v6 map. And about a month after that, I'm getting 3 new 6v6 maps, a new Ground War map, a bunch of new gunfight maps, but we're not talking about those right now, but I'm getting 3 new maps on top of that, meaning that within 2 months of the game being out, we've already received a full DLC's worth of maps for free. Shoot House, Vacant, Crash, and Shipment. And that's the key word here though, for free. Now, some people are saying that this was content that was cut from the game and is now being released to you and you're falling for it. I don't care. I honestly don't care. This is within 2 months from launch. This is not a bad deal. This is a lot of maps and a lot of content for free. I knew how many maps were in the game when I bought it, okay? Then, 2 weeks later, I'm greeted with 2 more. Then, about a month later, I'm gonna be greeted with 4 more, and if I'm counting the Ground War. If I'm just counting 6v6, then again, I've gotten a full DLC's worth of Call of Duty maps, $15 worth of DLC maps. To me, that's amazing, but okay, for sure. Vacant, Crash, and Shipment are old maps, not new maps. My point to that is that even though they are kind of nostalgia bait, and even though we did get to play these recently in Modern Warfare Remastered, to me it's new content because when I sit down to play Modern Warfare, there's more variety in the rotation. Now, I don't like the way Black Ops 4 did it, but the one thing I will say is those maps did add more variety to the game. The game was better for having those 4 remade maps. I'm okay with saying that. That's one of my least favorite Call of Duty games, but I'm giving it that benefit of the doubt. The game was better for having that, because it meant there was more variety in my play session and I wasn't going to start looping maps quite as early. I'm excited to see how Modern Warfare plays with these Call of Duty 4 maps. And I think we should give Infinity Ward a little bit of credit for giving us Shoot House, Vacant, and Shipment, and I feel like it's a direct response to people that don't like the larger maps of Modern Warfare, that feel like they're just too big. Vacant and Shipment and Shoot House are clusterfucky maps, and I think that's kind of fun for some people, and I even like Vacant as a clusterfucky map, and I'm somebody that likes larger maps, so I'm excited for that. And then Crash is just a good, balanced map, and I think even if they add their opening and closing doors on some of the buildings, I think the game will play roughly the way it did in Call of Duty 4, just a bit faster because obviously player speed is faster, we have tactical sprint and unlimited sprint, so hopefully it doesn't get too chaotic and kind of ruin the flow of Crash, but I'll be excited to see how it plays. Let me just hit all of this. Modern Warfare has given us a lot of free content in a very short amount of time. Whether it was supposed to launch with the game or not, this is some of the best post-launch content we've seen early in Modern Warfare. Regardless of what it was meant to be, this is what it is now, and it's being added to me at no extra cost in a pretty timely manner. My play sessions will have more variety, it'll have some nostalgia to it. Everybody gets this content on the day it releases, no matter what platform you've purchased the game for. Season 1 will also include new game modes, new weapons, new Spec Ops experiences, a new ground war map, and new gunfight maps. If you're enjoying Modern Warfare, there is about to be a lot more variety and a lot more content being given to you on day 1 for free no matter what platform you are on. This is, in my opinion, not something to complain about if you're enjoying the game. Now, if you think the game was short on content and now they're releasing this when it should have launched with the game, I'll just remind you that the game has not even been out a full month and a half yet. It's been like 1 month and 1 week. By the time this drops, it'll be 1 month and 1 week since launch, and it's coming to you for free. So if you want to change your perspective and look at it as this is them saying sorry for a shoddy amount of maps at launch, here's a bunch of free ones, then look at it that way. They're putting a lot of free content into this game within the first 2 months. Honestly. A new ground war map, a new 6v6 map, and then new Spec Ops experiences, I believe 2 new Spec Ops experiences and a classic Spec Ops experience. Then they're adding 3 remade maps, a new ground war map, new gunfight maps, new Spec Ops, new weapons, new game modes, and a new 2 new operators. So can we just be a little thankful? Okay? Can we just open our hearts a little bit here? If you want to see it as an apology for shoddy launch content or shoddy launch in general, if you want to see it as God's gift to mankind, it's the best, most pro-consumer thing Activision's ever done, I don't care. I really don't. What I see in this update is a bit of love and a bit of reconciliation. When this update drops, you have the option to pay for tiers that will give you cosmetics. You have to level up 30 times, only 31 times I believe, to get 2 new weapons, which is great. That's how Call of Duty's always been. You get XP, gives you guns. Hopefully there's a way to obtain these weapons after the season is over. We'll have to wait and see. You'll have new maps to play on. Your play sessions will have a little bit more love in them, a little bit more variety in them. And if we can't appreciate that now, I don't know where this community is going. However you want to look at it, it's happening. And it's happening at no cost to your wallet. So can we just take a deep breath and just suck Activision's cock? No, just take a deep breath and be like, okay, cool. The game is getting new stuff for free. Please, for the love of God, can we just be civil about this? This is not a bad thing. Can we not be so paranoid all the goddamn time? For the love of God. Hug your friends, hug your family. I will talk to you guys later. See you when I see you. Goodbye.